So I have received several questions about how to do the polynomial long division. We were having some trouble with the assignment, so I'm posting this video to work through the first couple of problems on the assignment with you, and then I'll let you work the last three on your own. So looking at our first example here, number one, we have divide the polynomial a squared minus 3a plus 2, and we're going to divide that by a minus 1. So we're going to set this up just like you would a typical long division problem. Okay, we'll put the larger inside our division bar here, and whatever we're dividing bar, we're going to put this out on, or put it on the outside. So we're dividing a squared minus 3a plus 2. We're dividing that by a minus 1. Now at this point, all we do is look at the first two terms in each polynomial. So I'm just looking at the a, and I'm looking at the a squared. What do I multiply a by to get a squared? Well, I multiply a by a. Okay, that's the first step. Now I'm going to take whatever I have up here, whatever that term is, I'm going to multiply it by each term down here. So a times a squared, or a times a equals a squared, and then a times negative 1, well, that equals negative a. Now whatever I came up with here, I'm going to subtract that from this expression on top. So a squared minus a squared, well, that's nothing. That's 0. I don't have to put anything down there. Minus 3a minus a negative a. So I have a double negative here, which is going to make a positive, right? So minus 3 minus negative a, that gives us negative 2a. Okay. Then I'm just going to carry this expression down over here, the plus 2. Okay. So now I've gotten a negative 2a plus 2. Now again, I'm just going to look at these first terms. So what do I multiply a by to get the negative 2a? Well, I'm going to multiply that by negative 2. And that's what I'm going to put up here. So I'm going to multiply this negative 2 times a, and I get negative 2a. I'll multiply this negative 2 times negative 1, and I'll get plus 2. Now I need to subtract whatever I have here from this expression right on top of it. So what's negative 2a minus negative 2a? Well, that's 0. And what's 2 minus 2? Well, that's 0. So this would be our remainder if we came up with a number here, but in this case we don't have a remainder. So our answer is going to be a minus 2. Okay? A squared minus 3a plus 2 divided by a minus 1. What does that equal? A minus 2. All right, I'm going to move on to number 2 now. Okay, number 2 states divide 2b squared minus 3b minus 4. So 2b squared minus 3b minus 4. And we're going to divide that by b minus 2. Okay, so let's set up the problem. We'll put this larger expression inside the division bar, and we'll put the smaller outside. Okay, so we are dividing 2b squared minus 3b minus 4. We're dividing that by b minus 2. So again, after I have the setup, I'm just looking at these first terms. So I'm just looking at the b, and I'm just looking at 2b squared. What do I multiply b by to get 2b squared? Well, I multiply that by 2b. Okay, 2b times b does equal 2b squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. 2b times b is 2b squared. And we multiply this by the next term, so 2b times a negative 2, that'll be negative 4b. Okay, I'm going to subtract this expression from the one directly on top of it. 2b squared minus 2b squared, well, that's nothing. Okay. Then negative 3b minus a negative 4b, so it's a double negative, so we're adding. So it's negative 3b plus 4b, that leaves us with just b. Carry down what we got over here, negative 4. Now again, we look at these first terms out here. What do I multiply b by to get b? 1. A positive 1, right? What's 1 times b? Well, that's b. And what's 1 times negative 2? Well, that's negative 2. So I'm going to subtract this expression I just came up with. I'm going to subtract it from that one right on top of it. So b minus b, well, that's 0. That's nothing. Negative 4 minus a negative 2. Remember, we're subtracting these. Okay, so negative 4 minus a negative 2, that becomes negative 2, because we have a double negative there, so we're adding. Okay, so what do I do with this part down here? This is my remainder. So I'm going to write that up at top, negative 2, but this becomes a numerator, okay? My denominator is this one right over here, okay? So I get negative 2 over b minus 2. That's my denominator, or that's my remainder. So my answer to number 2 will be 2b plus 1 minus 2 over b minus 2. Okay. I'm sorry, forgot to change. That was for number 2. Okay. If you got any questions, email me or just send me a message on Google Classroom on the assignment.